It is a really marketplace. He takes about 5% per job he places. His sellers are the plumbers or the home service providers like landscapers. The buyers are the homeowners. He's got several hundred of each on his platform. Just founded 3 months ago here in 2017. He's put in over 6 figures into the business himself so far, looking at going out and raising capital currently with his team of 5 based up in New England. This is episode 734. Coming up tomorrow morning, we talk to somebody who really empowers people who sell cannabis, weed, drugs, right? Who sells cannabis. He's raised $3 million already to be the payroll management system for that space. But first, here's today's episode. This is The Top, where I interview entrepreneurs who are number 1 or number 2 in their industry in terms of revenue or customer base. You'll learn how much revenue they're making, what their marketing funnel looks like, and how many customers they have.
I'm now at $20,000 per top.
5 and 6 million.
He is hell-bent on global domination. We just broke our 100,000 unit sold mark.
And I'm your host, Nathan Latka. Hello, everybody. My guest today is Ty Slagelmilk. He's the founder of a company called Hinged, following a 16-year career in finance, and most recently as co-CIO for Fortress Investment Group, which has about $70 billion in assets under management. Prior to that, he was with a variety of different finance firms, including Goldman Sachs. Ty, are you ready to take us to the top?
I am. Thank you very much for having me on.
You leave banking and come into startups. Welcome to the dark side.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
What did you see in the Hinged space that made you comfortable leaving what I assume to be a very comfortable finance job? And as you answer that, tell us what Hinged does.
So I, having gone to school at MIT, I have a number of friends who have entered the entrepreneurial space and had some great success there. And as an engineer by schooling, I'd say I've always had a curiosity with trying to make things work better and not just accepting the status quo as far as things that don't work as well as they probably should. So having been in finance, moved out to Connecticut and bought a house from a condo and just realized that, there was this opportunity with being able to actually get things done and understanding what needed to be done and when it needed to be done for a home. And so really took that and ultimately ran with that. As far as a decision between finance and doing this, I'd say, this was just a curiosity. It started out as a curiosity, and the longer I spent looking at the opportunity of what was out there, felt like the opportunity was larger and larger and something that really made a lot of sense to pursue.
So what is Hinged?
So Hinged, think of it as a holistic online platform for homeowners to better understand, manage, control, and deal with all aspects of home ownership. So the same way you think about your car being completely plugged in, when things need to be done on your car, what needs to be done, we take that and we take it to the next level. So rather than just that, we also alert you to the best-in-class service providers in your area that are able to do it. And then we have full integrated calendar scheduling, credit card payments, as well as a whole host of homeowner tools, including everything from tax tools to expense management tools to document retention and other items for the home.
And how do you make money? What's the business model?
So our business model is we provide a full software solution for the service providers.
So it's SaaS.
We think of it more as providing a service to the homeowner, and rather than charging as a SaaS model for the service providers, we use that as a tool of enticement to get the right service providers onto our platform. We are highly selective over who we want on the platform because we want to make sure that our name is reflected well in the work that's being done, as well as out of the service providers.
So I don't understand. Yeah, tell me an example of transaction, how you make money.
So we take 5% of the revenue that goes through on the platform from the service providers providing maintenance and repair.
Got it.
But that's the way that they pay for the software that they're using that allows the full calendar integration, payment processing, and their back office support and tools.
Got it. So you're really a marketplace.
We are. That's right.
So your seller selling their, I'm making this up, plumbing services is the kind of service provider, right? And then the buyer is the homeowner that knows it's time for their annual plumbing check.
That's right. And so rather than a homeowner trying to figure out what needs to be done, when it needs to be done. For instance, servicing the generator, everything's integrated and it's customized to the home. And it's like I said, it's very comprehensive for each individual homeowner.
Mm-hmm. And then help me understand kind of the healthiness of the marketplace right now. So how many homeowners do you have on the platform?
So we have several hundred homeowners on the platform today. We launched just a few months ago.
Like 200 or 300 or 800?
It's somewhere in that range.
Okay. And then how many sellers on your platform or plumbers have signed, or people like plumbers that have signed up? So we have
across Fairfield, Westchester County, which are the two markets that we're currently in. We have a few hundred service providers, and that includes everything from. We have about 50 different categories. We just started expanding a bit into service, including things like dry cleaning, shoe shining, things that are more on a regular basis. But there are a couple hundred service providers, including areas like that, as well as project areas like interior designers, architects, landscape designers, and areas like that.
And you mentioned, so with the buyers, you mentioned you have a few hundred. How many of them have actually spent, call it at least, $10 through your platform? Is that a measurement you measure?
We do. I mean, I would say, of the several hundred on the platform, and obviously it's been 3 months. So when you think about the growth of 100% month over month, the time that these people have been on the platform has been somewhat limited, but we're a reasonable percentage of that has actually been using the platform. And a number of those.
What's people, reasonable though? We don't know. That's why I asked. No one knows a reasonable.
I mean, I would say somewhere on the order of, on an average user basis, somewhere on the order of probably 20% plus, 20 to 40% probably.
Got it. So if you've got a couple hundred, let's just call it 400, right, for the sake of doing the math. You call it about 80 of them have processed at least one, whatever it is, plumbing job, roof repair, landscape, fixed through your platform over the past 3 months.
That's right, somewhere around there. Sure.
Got it. So did you just launch this company or like late 2016?
We just launched in 17, so basically in February of this year. So it has literally just been a few months. It's been a whirlwind. I mean, the market appetite has been great. The receptivity has been great. We've been very pleasantly surprised of the homeowner appetite for the product, as well as, frankly, the service providers. When you're dealing with the quality of service providers that we're dealing with, the more sophisticated, the more understanding they are of the product, what we do, and why we're very different from anything that's out there today.
Mm-hmm. And because you're in this beautiful space, like you just launched, you're probably putting out fires every day, trying to figure stuff out, right? You're smiling because it's true. You need to end this podcast because you got to go put out a fire, I bet, right? What is the, I mean, help people understand some of the things people have actually, paid you to help them fix. Is it mostly landscaping? Is it mostly plumbing, oven repairs? What is it?
I mean, we've seen a tremendous number of appliance repairs.
Okay.
The appliance repairs have been probably the hottest category, but we've seen things like, we just got a large order for a flooring install in a very large home out of Fairfield County. We've seen boilers, heater replacements. We've seen generator installs, irrigation installs. Pool service contracts for the summer. I mean, it's really been the full gamut, and it's been people signing up for full maintenance type contracts. So steady state recurring revenue. It's been, you mentioned kind of the fires and things like that. Yes, there are fires, but it's also nice to sit back. And when you see the transactions actually work, you see the payments processed, the money deposited, it's kind of nice to see and think, well, we did this and it actually works.
Yeah.
So that's been the benefit of it, obviously.
What is the total, what's the average price of a job you're processing? Are we talking like $20 or $2,000?
No, the average, we've had some larger scale jobs. So the average is probably somewhere on the order of about $1,500 or so.
Okay, got it. And so you've processed about $100,000 or so through your platform so far?
So the process through the platform, and some of these, like for instance, a flooring install may take 2 to 3 months.
Got it.
So when you go to the 3 months of lifespan for us, it's been more than that at this point in time, but the backlog is multiples of that. So it's been pretty remarkable how quickly things have come in.
And did you raise capital for this, or you're just bootstrapping?
So I've funded everything to date. So the full development, it's been quite a large development cost in the product.
How much have you put in? I'm curious.
It's in the 7 figures.
Yeah, it's painful, right? It's always pain. That number is always painful when you start.
Listen, even when doing the finance world and launching your own business in finance, as I like to say, it doesn't matter whether it's a $5 check or a $100,000 check. When you're writing checks and you're not bringing money in, it's always painful.
Yeah.
But it's been great. We've just started actually the discussions on the capital raising side, which are going remarkably well. Mm-hmm. Some strategic players, as well as some very notable finance, the VC world. So we'll be doing that over the next few months. And
why do you want to raise? Why not just keep funding it yourself so you can keep 100%?
This is a land grab. I mean, really, this is a race for the home. Mm-hmm. And, we haven't gone into a lot of what we do on the customized homeowner experience, but this is a race for the home, and this is about putting in a tool and a device in a home that has a lot of ancillary opportunity and areas. So for us, it's a race to get there, and we want to be able to get the growth capital to be able to really take that vision to the next level as far as growth.
And what's your team look like today?
So today we have 5 full-time on the team. Including me, 5 full-time, including me. And then we have our development team, which we've been using Cogniance out of Boston. Mm-hmm. So they've been doing the development side for us for the last 15 months or so.
Got it. And that's really for the MVP, right?
I'm sorry?
They're just building like your kind of this minimum viable product so you can get it to market, and then you'll keep them long term, or no?
We skipped immediately through the MVP. So this is a full functional commercial product.
So when you say you spent 7 figures, though, most of that has gone probably to Cogniance, then their developers building this thing.
Yeah, I mean, the full-time team came on board. We started with my COO in November, who's a builder, a high-end builder who's been building in Fairfield County in Colorado for the last 30 years. We've started with a sales team for the service providers. We just brought on our chief marketing officer, former CMO at Betterment, and Clarity Money. He just started actually in March. So the team's continuing to ramp. But the vast majority, about 90% of that, was spent on development.
Yep, that makes good sense. I am curious, a guy like you, and it's so funny because it looks like you have one kiddo, and I can see the drawing behind you, and the only word I can see is Maserati. So I assume from the finance world, you're able to save up a nice cushion so that you can take a risk here, and if it all fails, you'll be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, look, I haven't been in the habit in my career of doing things that fail. So. Yeah. I think this was very well thought out prior to making the investment, and I think we're onto something big here.
I want to know what you gave up. What salary did you give up at the finance company?
I mean, over the last 16 years, I mean, it's all over the place. It's all over the place.
If you give a number, it will help other people making way less go, well, if he gave up that big a salary, I can give up my $60,000 salary. Give me a range.
Range from, back office administration to, Major League Baseball player.
Yeah. In a bad year, you could be at 100. In a good year, you're talking $4 million because of, upside on incentive-based comp.
I was in a space where if you knocked the ball out of the park and you could hit the home runs, you did well. If you swung out and missed and ended up in the minor leagues, things didn't work out for you. So it was all over the place.
I know you guys enjoy listening to every episode each morning, but what if there was an easy way for you to get all of the data I capture on my podcast in a very simple Excel-like format where you just go there, you view it, you sort all the companies by revenue or CAC or ARPU or lifetime value or churn or gross margin or valuation, whatever you want. You can now get it. I spent $25,000 to build a beautiful piece of website. Okay, that's what we'll call it, a beautiful piece of website. It's getlatka.com. GETLATKA.com. Now, here's the deal. This data is super valuable. I think Mattermark, CB Insights, PitchBook, they do a great job with data, but they don't tell you revenue and customer counts and revenue per employee and gross margin. This is stuff I have that nobody else has because I've done the interviews. If you want to be and get an advantage, I'm only giving it to 10 new people every month. 10 people. So if you're hearing this now, you're probably one of the first. Go to getlatka.com and sign up immediately. It's free to use, free to check out, but it's a great resource. I'm only giving it to 10 people every month so that it's a real advantage. You know, if I give it to everybody, it's not an advantage anymore. So only 10. Go to getlatka.com for the top 200 B2B SaaS companies and all the data laid right there for you to study, analyze, interpret, and get an unfair advantage. That's GETLATKA.com. That's awesome. All right, Ty, let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite business book?
Oh, gosh. Geez. You know, there's so many out there. I mean, I was just reading one of Buffett's books, and now completely escapes me.
Tap Dancing to Work, Snowball.
Top 10 what?
Was it Tap Dancing to Work or Snowball or Berkshire After Buffett?
I believe it's Snowball.
Okay. Yep. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
I think Bezos is a pretty fascinating guy. You know, obviously a lot of things going on with Amazon, even including in our space, and just a fascinating individual that made the migration from the finance side, hedge fund side, to leading Amazon. So a pretty fascinating guy.
Number three, is there a favorite online tool you have, like Acuity Scheduling?
For scheduling, I mean...
Or just any online tool, really.
I mean, look, I think Uber is fantastic. Lyft is fantastic. I think,
something
you know, what
you use for your business.
Something we use for our business. I mean, obviously, we're using Skype right now. Skype's been great. GoToMeeting has been great, especially when dealing with service providers outside of the area.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I don't know, probably somewhere between 5 to 6.
Okay, got it. And what's your current situation? Married, single? How many kiddos do you have?
Single, dating, and 3 kids.
3 kiddos, dating, and how old are you?
I am 41.
41. So, all right, take us home, man. Take us back 21 years. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
What did I wish I... honestly, I wish I'd been more measured with certain things in my life. So I've been more thoughtful about the paths being chosen. But
are you talking about? You have 3 kids. You're single. Are you talking about your relationship stuff?
I think relationship stuff would have been helpful.
That was a very legal way to say that. Guys, there you have it from Ty. He would have been more measured in his personal life and other decisions he was making when he was younger. Again, now building Hinged, really in the war for your home. It is a really marketplace. He takes about 5% per job he places. His sellers are the plumbers or the home service providers like landscapers. The buyers are the homeowners. He's got several hundred of each on his platform. Just founded 3 months ago here in 2017. He's put in over 6 figures into the business himself so far, looking at going out and raising capital currently with his team of 5 based up in New England. Ty, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much, Nathan.
If you enjoyed today's episode, go back and listen to yesterday's with Zvi. They raised $50 million, and they're leading the way in the cargo container software space and freight management space.